I have zero concern for Sarah. She's fine. I mean, I kind of think we know who didn't do their jobs here. The only person that's really trying to save their skin by deflecting to other people
is Hannah.
Right? Not me. Not me. Sure how we do it to perfection. If you and the DA are willing to, do what's necessary to bring this to closure without bringing too many people into it.
Okay.
And it's not, I've got like zero concern. I have zero concern for Sarah. She's fine. Nicole's fine. Right? I mean, I kind of think we know who didn't do their jobs here.
Right, and that's, but it's kind of difficult to, come to that conclusion without being able to have a discussion with them.
Well, who would you want to have a discussion with?
Well, Sarah was supposed to come in today.
Yeah, she told me about that. And I told her, I said, Sarah, you have zero concerns. You have no concerns at all. Okay? And I said, you know what? And I've got this in text message with her. You can get a lawyer, but, to what end? I think she's looking for a security blanket, like it's going to make everything go away. It's not, right? So, because her culpability is like zero in my mind. Mm-hmm. As far as the industry goes, it's zero. I've got her jobs lined up like right now. Like people that are veterans of the industry, that are armors, that are heading up certain teams are like, yep, I get it. Absolutely. Just, send me her contact info and she's good to go. They get it. I mean, they don't have to, plan to perfection and prove to, a court about XYZ. They just know how it works. They know that the prop master, right, relies on the armor to do his or her job. That's it. It's really, really basic, honestly, for the most part. Other than the fact that there's campus bullying and all the rest of the stuff, which is a huge component of me saying, look, it's a really stressful environment. Your dad thought you were ready. You obviously weren't. Somebody died.
Right.
We get it. I mean, this industry eats people alive. And it didn't eat you alive, but by your hand, it ate somebody else alive, and it's tragic. You've got to own this shit. So it's rough. I mean, it's a rough industry. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So anyway, I mean, without a doubt, if everything were lined up with the box and a half, and honestly, I don't know that this other person who may have done that a couple of years ago is all that worried. I feel bad for having connected the dots and gone, oh shit, I think I know how this happened and where it came from and who has more of those same reloads. And even today, what was it, today or yesterday, with the whole, no, some of it's whatever Winchester cases or whatever, I kind of more definitely connected dots, okay, this is a very odd thing.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
So, and I myself might have, and I'm not sure about the legality of it, I might actually have some spent brass that was left
This is a Crime Circus presentation.
behind. So, not that it's going to have anybody involved's fingerprints or anything on there, but I don't know. If I located the stuff and flipped through there and saw, oh yeah, look at that. There's a Starline brass in there. Oh, there's a Winchester. Oh, there's a UMC. Oh, there's Remington. That'd be pretty telling, right? So,
did this person say how those just couple would have gotten in that box?
Oh no, of course not.
Okay.
No, because they never were in a box originally.
Oh.
And yep. And that was my question. I said, hey, you know what? So if somebody had a box and a half of that, and he goes, nope, it wasn't in a box. And I go, oh, okay, I got you.
So somebody might have just grabbed.
So somebody had to have touched each and every one of those rounds.
But they could have just grabbed it and then threw it in that box.
Yeah, that's how it would have happened. I mean, it's hard to say exactly. I mean, if I see on Monday and you show me a picture of that, I'll be able to say, okay, that's, somebody obviously mixed blanks and, or not blanks, dummy rounds and live rounds.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, I can tell you exactly what the boxes that Billy Ray and I get. I mean, if it said 45LC on it, and then let's see 45, it'd say dummy rounds, 45LC, and then it have a very small JS on it. That's a dummy round exterior box. But the styrofoam should also be just a dummy round, because that's not how it was packaged. I mean, it wasn't packaged. It was, I don't even know if it was an ammo crate or a bag or could have been a cardboard box or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about a couple of years ago. And I'm even surprised that the other person even had a box and a half still around.
This is a CrimeCircus presentation.
So, I mean, the grain weight on the loads are going to be very, very close too. So if you pull the powder out, you pull the bullet and everything else, chances are it's exactly the same. Different case, chances are same primer, exact same grain weight, powder, and type.
Okay. Yeah, and I have those photos. I got them printed out today. That way, I can show you them on Monday.
I don't think I can add anything more by seeing it, but other than just already, validating
your suspicion,
what you're up against really on this thing.
Okay.
And maybe you can talk to the DA and say, here's Seth's concerns. Here's what he doesn't, because, I know you need to get her to the table or at least have overwhelming information to take it to the next step, right? David Halls is done. The guy just did everything that was wrong.
Right.
He's cooked, right? But everybody understands where this stuff came from, and it's just such a rare thing and an unfortunate coincidence that it happens to be a Starline case. I mean, that really was a tipping point on understanding, like, oh shit, this is such a rare possibility that would be the round, right? Oh, and the other thing too that I thought about was that they didn't have any spent cases on set. Okay, they would have had to have made spent cases on set by there's a couple ways of doing that, but they didn't have the technical expertise to be able to do that. If the director said, hey, and I want to see Alec Baldwin unloading his revolver and having spent cases spill out, they would have said, oh shit, call Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, well, actually, you know what? Let me just backtrack, though. That's not necessarily true. Because I think she's been told from her dad, we save all of our spent brass. So she might have just dug into her car and found some stuff.
And by spent, you mean like that was a live round at one point?
Yeah. It would have been a live round at one point.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. But again, but that wasn't the call. That wasn't the call for the day. The director didn't say, hey, let's just go ahead and get some spent, cases in here because we're going to do reloads. Well, yeah, essentially reload, right? It's going to go ahead and empty the case and the whole thing. It doesn't say that in the script either. And it doesn't say that in the script either. There's never a place in the script where it says, and then so-and-so, opens, we'll say open the cylinder, but it doesn't say anything about ejecting brass or anything else like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of scripts will, but not this one. And it wasn't really technically interesting, the script, as far as things go. Sometimes every once in a while they want to have that, kind of mechanics of it in there, but not this one. Just stylistically, it wasn't there. So,
okay.
Well, anyway, if you had some other reloads that had the exact same grain weight of powder, the exact same powder, the exact same weight of bullet, and other trace evidence on those bullets, especially this one particular individual, that I hope can remain anonymous. That would be rather telling.
Yeah.
Because there's no way.
They would
there's no way. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think they'd have to compare it to those, some of the ones that he has.
This is a Crime Circus presentation.
Well, if I told you where it was, right, you talk to the DA and I tell you where it is, nobody's happy with, this woman dying.
Right.
No, nobody is. And they're only really, if David Halls is cooked, he's not trying to, what is he going to do? He's already admitted and signed an affidavit, right? He's not trying to save his skin. I mean, he lawyered up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's trying to change his story. What story does he have to change?
Right.
He totally screwed up. The only person that's really trying to save their skin by deflecting to other people
is Hannah.
Right? Not me. You haven't seen my name pop up in the social media. You haven't seen my company pop up in social media. It hasn't happened. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's her trying to deflect to everyone else.
Yeah.
Sarah and the whole thing. But, I mean, she's screwed. It's just a matter of bringing it home to a landing more quickly than not.
Right. And that's what we're trying to do. I mean, that's like,
Will you talk to the DA and just say what can be done to keep this other person's name out of the proceedings? Yeah,
I don't even know if that would, necessarily be something that's even brought up, especially if it was done 2 years ago. I mean, ultimately, we look at obviously it's background as to how it got there, which everybody wants to know. But as far as what happened, the incident, that's what we got to hone in on. So yes, it's good to know like the backstory of, obviously the question going around is, where did these come from? And
she commingled stuff. I mean, that's my thought, is she straight up commingled stuff, and she didn't do what she's supposed to do. Because again, we have to assume that everything's live coming in.
Uh-huh.
Everything coming in off all the western belts out there are going to be live, right? Because you can't trust anyone. So, but at the same time, if the assistant director and Alec Baldwin are, haranguing her into just handing over a gun, and she's trying to dodge it by handing it off to a 19-year-old at the cart because she can't deal with these guys, which is exactly what goes on. Exactly. And that was my point to her and her dad. Like, just come clean to the shitty things that happen in this business. And the fact that, just nobody respects you at all has nothing to do with anything other than ego trips. And, it's awful. It's an awful business. I mean, I hate working set. I hate it. So, how is she going to get a fair shake? How is she going to actually do her job? She's not.
Well, especially if you're not going to take responsibility for...
Yeah, well, then, there's that, too. Like, So...
This is a Crime Circus presentation.
Yeah, she's got to own it. I wish you would own it between now and Monday. I really wish you did. I'll have another conversation with Dale over the weekend. This is like the second time today, or first originally, second time today. And I'm going to try it again over the weekend. Just say, this is good for her. I mean, it's bad situation.
Yeah.
So.
Well, keep me updated. I'll have my phone on me all weekend, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, connecting the dots is not a fun thing to do, but when you can't sleep all night long, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. No, that was me last night. I was tossing and turning, so.
Yeah, I know. Your brain starts to work, and it's like, shit, gotta figure this out. You're like, I know it's out there. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Oh, you know what? When I talked to so-and-so, he said, you know what? I kind of worried that this was the case. He said that. Like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when I talked to him and I told him what was going on and the whole thing, he's like, so.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have any load data or anything like that. He didn't have a definitive answer as to powder. He told me 2 powder options, and I wrote them down because I don't, shit. I mean, I've been in the business, and so is 99.9% of the guys. But if you were to pour out gunpowder on a table that looked completely different, none of them would know. So, anyway, but he told me 2. It'd be 1 of 2. I'm like, okay. And then the weights are going to be exactly the same. I mean, more or less within a tenth of a grain.
Okay.
It's just, there's just no way. There's no way that there's Starline brass out there made with X grain weight bullet and X grain powder of this specific type that I'm sure that the forensics, the FBI lab could sit there and analyze as the exact same batch from this factory, because all the powders they make them from month to month, year to year, and everything else, and there's fluctuations. So they should be able to definitively identify that powder, that batch. Yep, it's the same. There's just no way it could be anything other.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk with the DA on Monday and kind of see how they're feeling about that. And I'll see you Monday, and we'll just keep moving forward.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Try to sleep.
Hopefully just one night.